you think about that? I mean, I thought they had some momentum there, and then he shook things up in that third quarter, and the lead that they cut down to, what was it, about 12 or 13? It went right back up heading into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it went up to about 23 during that stretch. It's all we talked about for 3 straight games now. The late season experimentation to go with the win at this point. I get it. It worked. He hit 3. He got to the free throw line. He actually played some solid minutes there. But then they're right back to Pritchard alongside him. They're trying to go small, 3-guard style stuff into the fourth. They're just mixing and mashing stuff. And I get it. Cornette had to come in because Rob went down at halftime. But Edwards hasn't played since March. Yeah, he's probably gotten a little practice time, but how do you expect this group to be connected defensively if you're bringing in a guy like Edwards who hasn't played real minutes since late March? Again, the offense wasn't the problem tonight. They scored 124 points. You need some defensive help, and that's not what Edwards is going to give you.
No, and that to me, when I saw him out there, that just kind of blew my mind because, again, you were doing a pretty good job at that half of the court without him. It's the other half of the court that was the reason behind you getting your asses kicked. I don't understand that. I don't get it. I mean, but the more I think about it, it's kind of symbolic of this team. They think they can shoot their way out of any and every situation. We're getting our asses kicked defensively, so what are we going to do? We're just going to keep taking more shots. We're going to shoot our way out of this. Offense. That doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I can't imagine Brad Stevens is telling them to keep shooting. It just can't be the case. It can't be the case.
Well, what kind of message? Well, the other thing is, what kind of message are you sending when you put in Carson Edwards? I mean, was he a defensive lineman?
I'm trying not to have the rage tonight. You know, I mean, I'm trying not to.
Wrap it up, man. We told you, look, you can smoke your cigarettes, you can chill. We're here to help.
All right, fuck it, I will
help you talk through this.
He's like, okay,
all right, here it goes. No, I mean, I
twist my arm.
Truthfully, I just don't understand. This is just a replay of
the
entire post-game show. 70 games we've played, right? How many one the Celtics have played? It's pretty much been this straight through.
There's 4 more, yeah.
Yeah, 68 games, right? 68. I mean, we added Sherrod, thankfully, to the bunch here. He just added the same message. We've all been saying the same thing. There's nothing else to say, guys. These guys suck.
They're done.
Let me
very
talented. Off for emphasis. I like it, Nick. I like it.
People. Gutless. Yeah.
The question I have is why would, and I didn't even think Edwards was the problem. Edwards was not the issue today. I thought he was fine.
Right.
No, he did fine. Yeah.
But no, let me finish though. Yeah. I mean, what I'm saying is, I think that, at this stage in the season, you go with the guys who you're expecting to see in the playoffs. And Pritchard's that guy that we've all said here is in the playoff rotation or the play-in rotation, whichever one you want to call it. So
that's right.
I don't understand why they would go away from that. I also felt like this was a game where you could have probably used more of Neesmith. I know he got about 20 minutes, which is typically okay, but what he gives you on both ends, that's more than what Edwards can give you. And I know that the positions are completely interchangeable there, but there's still a way to easily work him into that lineup. And what he's giving you right now is more than what Edwards can give you. His shot is falling. And
he was awesome again.
His hustle out there. I mean, on a day where, the Celtics are honoring Tommy Heinsohn, I think him and Smart, Neesmith and Smart kind of, embody what Heinsohn was all about, what he looked for. And I'm not saying, it's Tommy Heinsohn Day. How could they not play Neesmith? I'm just saying that style of play would have helped the Celtics possibly a little bit more than somebody like Edwards or Pritchard, who wasn't really having it today either.
They don't care about, I don't want to say they don't care about Tommy, but like that stuff, I don't think.
I know they don't care about Tommy. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not saying that. That's not what I said. I'm saying I just don't think the magnitude.
It's not on the top of their minds.
No, if
I'm not saying it is.
If they can't win games based on the fact that they have to go to the play-in, I don't think Tommy's going to make a difference. Sorry, Tommy. God bless his soul.
And that for me is what is most frustrating about this particular loss. The fact that you knew damn well that if you win this game, you win the head-to-head series with Miami, gives you a shot at locking up that number 6 seed. And that is important if you are going to be a team that you say can do some things in the playoffs. Now you put yourself in a situation where you literally have to win out in order to feel comfortable at that 6th spot. And even if you do, you're going to need help. You no longer control your destiny of getting into the playoffs. And I don't think any of us would have thought at the beginning of the season that we will be coming up to the final 4 games wondering, are the Celtics going to be in the playoffs or not? Because that conversation would most than likely involve a key player or two being hurt. That ain't the case. You look at the way Fournier is playing now. Fournier is playing better. Kemba is playing better. Jason is doing more things offensively. But the one thing that has not caught any type of traction with this team is defense. They are a putrid team at that end of the floor. And it's not one, and the reason is real simple, because collectively they just don't. The effort isn't there. Defense is so much about effort. It's not about X's and O's. It's about how bad do you want to keep that man from scoring on you. How bad? When Marcus Smart is out there, I feel his effort more times than not is pretty damn high. Neesmith, pretty damn high. The rest, no.
Yeah. I wasn't.
And who are the rest? And who are the rest?
Especially in the first half. I mean, the transition defense was terrible. And we talked about that before this game, right? We said that's the one thing about the Miami Heat that scares you if you're a Celtics fan. And we saw exactly how explosive that offense can be. And it's not just about three-point shooting. It's just that when those guys are out in front of, when they're in the flow of things, that offense can really get going. And the Celtics just have not been able to stop the bleeding. It's been a pattern all season long. Bobby, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I know Jimmy and Sherrod just mentioned Smart there. I wasn't that impressed by him tonight. And it wasn't the situation I've seen with him the last 4 or 5 games where he didn't seem to be moving well or getting involved all that much. He was actually doing a little too much, I thought, especially in that third quarter. And he actually got put on the bench. We haven't seen that a lot this year where he got a little too reckless, throwing some balls away, taking some ill-advised shots. And Brad sat him down and put a 3-guard lineup out there with the bench unit that you talked about because he lost control down the stretch there. And he was the point man on Jimmy Butler, hitting 8 shots in that second half to basically shut down this comeback. Time and time again, Butler took him to the rim. Butler was drawing free throws. Butler even hit a 3. He only had 19 threes on the season before this, and he hit his 20th, which I thought was the biggest shot of the night. Smart's got to be better. He's got to be more in control. And I know you want to set a tone. I know you want to take advantage of the free spaces out there, but I saw a lot of bad shots. I saw turnovers, and I saw him getting taken advantage of on defense.
Oh, this was a bad game for him. There's no doubt about that. This was one of his worst games,
really?
Actually.
No,
do you see the play? Jimmy, do you see the play where he flopped and they gave up a wide open 3 to Robinson in the corner? Like, come on. You cannot do that if you're Smart.
Yeah, that was bad.
Jimmy, the thing about Smart, and we all know this, is his numbers are never going to tell you whether he had a good or bad game. I thought that for Smart, it's about impact. And I thought this was one of his least impactful games that we've seen for a lot of the mistakes he made. But I thought this was one of the few games where it seemed as though the frustration of guys not buying into what this team has to do defensively got caught up to him, and he tried to do too much because he doesn't feel guys around him are doing enough. And when you look at what and so again, not excusing his play because he definitely had a bad game, but I can understand the thinking behind why he was trying to do more than he normally does because nothing was working for the rest of the team, and guys didn't seem like they were understanding the importance of this game. I would much rather see guys trying to do too much than not trying to do enough. And we're having too many games with this team where guys aren't trying to do enough. And that's frustrating. Especially for a guy like Marcus, whose game is built on effort.
Yeah,
you can't give the ball away, though. You just can't.
Who are you going to put in his place, Bobby? I mean, no one else is playing.
Right. Carson Edwards, that's who you're going to replace him with?
Well, they ultimately did.
Marcus tonight.
How'd that work? He made one shot.
Six turnovers. So
maybe
it's forcing the issue a bit.
Marcus has played this year like there's something going on off the court. Now, I don't know anything, right? But I'm just saying, you remember the year where he smashed his hand up? He had this same type. This is a complete assumption. I have no idea. But it could also just be he's tired of the only one that's going out there and having a heart that's beating.
Yeah.
You know?
Listen,
I mean,
the turnovers are one thing, and those are inexcusable, and there were plenty of those today, not just Marcus Smart, but 6 is obviously way too high for
was
one
bad
of your
in
guards.
that sense, yeah.
But I'm not going to sit here and say that he had one of his worst games of the season or that he was one of their biggest problems today. I mean, he actually shot the ball better today than he has in tons of games this season. And I do, and Joshua noted it, he does sometimes have to do more than maybe what he would like to do or maybe what anybody would like to see him do out there because of the lack of, I don't know if the word's effort or the lack of just people able to do things around him out there in the court. Like you said, I mean, Pritchard, you got you got guys going out there in the court that just aren't contributing the way they need to. And again, I talked about earlier, if you thought Smart was a liability out there today, then why isn't Neesmith getting more minutes? Why is he only getting 19 minutes when, again, Neesmith's playing playing the best basketball of his career? So if that's a common threat or a common thought that everyone thinks Marcus Smart had an awful game today, then Neesmith should have got way more time than what he did.
I think you think of that next year. This year, you still need Smart. You still need him to be involved and connected to everybody. But next year, could Neesmith fill that kind of role? I mean, you see the kind of stuff he's doing. You see the shooting he brings to the table. Even a little bit more ball handling at this point. He's never going to be Smart as a passer and ball handler, but he's showing signs in that sense. I see what Fournier did tonight. And as we get closer to that offseason, and I've been saying this back to the trade deadline, Marcus Smart's going to be the guy this offseason who there's a huge decision on.
Well,
the contracts.
Wait, hold on. Sherrod, you made a face in the middle of that, so I want to see what that was about. Was that premature? Neesmith taking on that Smart role?
I hear what Bobby's saying, and really, when you look at the way they play, you look at their books. There's a lot that it does make sense. But here's my problem with that. What is the biggest issue that this is affecting this team right now? Your defense is putrid. So then you go get rid of the one guy.
Right.
Hey, Neesmith and Fournier defend. It's not that level. But again, what have we said all year? Smart hasn't been himself on that end.
Look.
Yeah,
no disrespect to Fournier or Neesmith, but they ain't Marcus Smart defensively. Not even
they're
close.
Not, but this goes to show that defense, if it's not a team, if the team's not buying in, it almost doesn't matter how good you have as one defender is on your team, because the other team's just going to get through the cracks. I mean, look at Marcus Smart's your defensive leader, and maybe your leader, and we're talking about a Celtics team that might not make the playoffs this year. So really, I understand his value to the team, and I understand that it's probably not really his fault because of it's a lot of the players around him possibly. But at some point, you have to say, okay, well, what this guy's value to the team, we understand what his value to the team is, but if other guys aren't buying in around him, that value kind of is diminished a little bit, right? He might be worth way more to another team who has players around that can make his value actually stand out. He might be going balls to the walls every game, but if the four guys out there on the court around him aren't, then having one guy who plays defense out there isn't going to do shit for you. And as we've seen today.
You know, and if you take Marcus Smart off this team, you take Marcus Smart off the team, you might as well put an Orlando Magic uniform on this team. Because you're going to have no emotion.
Hi, guys. Cedric Maxwell here. I want to take a minute to tell you about Marigold Medical. I'm used to keeping my body in great shape, but with arthritis, even the most simple, everyday tasks became unbearable. As soon as I called Marigold Medical, I knew I was in good hands. No drugs, no surgery, just an experienced team of caring professionals that wanted to get me back to doing the things I love. Make the call to Marigold Medical and get back to pain-free life.